y'all see the jewels she's dropping right here? She just gave you so much game. This was consultation.
I'm going to send an invoice.
Yeah. Not to us, we're broke. Welcome to Expansion Starts Here, the podcast connecting Prince George's County businesses with the information, resources, and relationships they need to grow. Many business owners know they have a compelling story, but they are often unsure how to get the media to pay attention. Should they send a press release, contact a reporter directly, hire a publicist, or focus on telling their own story through podcasts, social media, and other new media platforms? And when something goes wrong, many businesses discover too late that they do not have a crisis communications plan, a designated spokesperson, or a clear strategy for protecting public trust. So today, we are helping businesses answer those questions with Nia T. Brown, Public Information Officer for Prince George's County, Maryland. Nia is joining us to share practical guidance on building relationships with the media, identifying newsworthy stories, preparing for interviews, navigating the changing media landscape, and communicating effectively when crisis occurs. Nia, welcome to Expansion Starts Here.
Thank you. Thanks
In
for having me. Ooh, I'm happy to be here.
Man, first of all, tell these people who you are. You've been doing your thing, making things happen. A lot of the news they're seeing is coming out of her office, and you didn't even know. So I'm putting you together.
Okay.
Let them know.
Well, hello, Prince George's County. I'm happy to be here. As you mentioned, my name is Nia Brown, and I do operate as the Public Information Officer for one of our major agencies, the Department of Public Works and Transportation. I've been a part of the county government for about 3 years. I've had the pleasure of serving as the Public Information Officer for our amazing County Executive Aisha Braveboy. So it has been such an amazing journey being here in Prince George's County, being able to see the ins and outs of how government works, how we impact our residents, and how we can really help to elevate all of our visitors, residents, and businesses. So happy to be here.
Yeah, and I seen you work. All right, so we're going to get right into it.
Okay,
so
let's do
me and
it.
you hooked up on State of the Economy.
Yes.
Made it work. That was her first one.
Yes, it was.
Right? We knocked it out the park. So
We did.
The cool thing is that when we invited the media and then we corralled the media, and you gave the subject matter expert at that time, which was Aisha Braveboy, the featured keynote speaker, the opportunity to have a corralling with the media one-on-ones.
Absolutely.
Talk about that. I mean, like, how do you know when's the right time to put folks directly with the media, keep them a little shielded? Like, what's your strategy behind something like that?
Sure. It definitely depends on what the media has going on in that current moment. We know that typically when you're associating with the media, you want to build a relationship with them. It should really be, I don't want to say tug of war, but it should be kind of a cohesive relationship. So knowing exactly that you have information that you know the media is going to want to hear, information that they're going to want to disseminate. We know that the State of the Economy was huge. Like we mentioned, it was the county executive's first one. She dropped a lot of great gems, information about where we're moving forward as a county, how we're really developing, all of our economic just growth and everything that has to do with, revenue outlook on the future. So she really provided a lot of great information. And the media wants to know exactly, hey, a little bit more inside detail. They can get a little closer to the story about how can this help impact and elevate other residents or just visitors in general. Typically, we reach out to the media, especially if it's something like a huge event going on, and we let them know days in advance. Because typically, if it's going to be an event that has a venue, some venues have different parameters around that.
Right.
So making sure that we can kind of get ahead of the game, set up the room exactly how it needs to be set up, making sure that it's safe, number one, that it's secure, making sure that detail and everyone has the information that they need to ensure that safety is a priority, knowing exactly which media outlets are going to be attending, so making sure we have those confirmations.
Absolutely.
Making sure that we know exactly what reporters are going to be on site, things like that. Some reporters have different agendas than others. So we want to make sure that, we just get the best coverage possible.
No, I'm glad you said that because you also had the challenge of doing this during a time when it was election season.
Yeah.
So, with the media, you never know what kind of curveball they're going to throw.
Exactly.
How do you set up a situation with the media where, number one, trust is a two-way street? If I let you get access to my star, how do I know I can trust you to not do something that's adverse to what we're trying to accomplish here?
Yeah. A lot of the times the media just wants to get to the truth. That's their entire agenda, essentially. They want to just find out the truth.
Right.
So we want to be able to provide them with that transparent information. Sometimes people might get a little ahead of themselves and want to ask additional information that's not really readily available, number one. Some people, people love data, they love facts. We never want to just assume or provide, information that we think. The media is not asking us for what we think. They want to know exactly what is the truth, what are the facts. So we never want to speak out of term. So sometimes they might ask questions for, hey, what about, insert data statistic here? And we'll let them know. We'll verify that information. We'll let you know exactly what it is when we have it readily available with us.
Indeed.
But if we're talking about a completely different topic, we're not walking around with statistics just on our phones all the time. In a perfect world, we could, but essentially there's so many things going on, so many moving pieces. And this is a county of 1 million people. There are things that are constantly happening that we just have to have all of our ears and our eyes and just everything to the streets to make sure that we're, ahead of everything that's going to be coming our way.
Big time.
Absolutely.
And we're in the Elevate season too.
Yes, we are elevating.
So you're completely a part of that branding. Businesses are our main audience. Half of the time I speak to business owners, the first thing they say to me is, how come the media is not talking about me? I just dropped a new smoothie. I just opened up a third location. Nobody's telling me.
Sure.
Or talking about me. What is it about businesses and the media that's the disconnect, you think, for your average entrepreneur?
I think for the average entrepreneur, they're having tons of things happening in their own world that are amazing.
Indeed.
They're making all these strides and they're reaching different milestones within their own respective business. And so that's news to them.
Yes.
But 20 minutes down the street, there might be something going on like the FIFA World Cup. Or there might be something happening where, the planes are, 75 planes in the air right now. They changed the way their aerospace laws are going.
Yes.
There are these things that are constantly happening.
Right.
And because of that special thing called the internet, we are privy to so much information all at one time happening globally.
Right.
So sometimes the coverage is great, but there might be something more impactful happening at that very moment. So, it's important for entrepreneurs, at least I would say, to build those relationships, even if it's with smaller outlets. So you might not, go on JLA immediately for something.
Right.
But you might be able to, massage your way in relationships that you can end up on a podcast or Economic Development Corporation.
Indeed.
Or you might be able to, build relationships and rapport with certain bloggers. And, a huge one in the area I would say is Rose Johnson. She does the Spotlight DMV.
For sure.
Love her.
Shout
and
out.
She does an amazing way of covering all things from sports, entertainment to government. She has a platform that reaches all different types of, audiences. So I would say definitely, start somewhere that might be local so
True.
that it gets that traction.
Yeah, and I'd also like to say too, manage your expectations.
Yes.
Because I think to your point, they're trying to go straight to WJLA, ABC7, and they're forgetting the fact that you have Spotlight DMV, you have the Rose Johnsons, you have the Expansion Starts Here.
Yep.
Like, start leading the breadcrumbs that allows major producers to say, oh, we need to pick up on this momentum.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Talk about a media pitch. I think a lot of times too, some of these businesses don't understand their brand value proposition when talking to the media. Like, for instance, I always say to a lot of media folks, there's a community like services journalist or community services producer that's looking for outreach stories about how business is making the community better. And maybe this business has done some things to help the community, but they just don't think that it's newsworthy, or maybe they're using their humility as something that's blocking their ability to get that promoted, which inadvertently helps the business.
Every media pitch is not the same.
That's right.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Yes, sir.
So depending on what your goal is, from inviting the media to whatever the event is, typically, the easiest way I would say to do that is to create a media advisory.
Boom. Step one.
That's truly step one. You make your media advisory, you write a small blurb about what's to be expected, why they should come, essentially.
Yes.
Who will be in attendance.
Who, what, when, where.
Absolutely. The 5 W's they teach you in first grade. Like, that goes and carries you all the way throughout adulthood.
Indeed.
People always want to know the 5 W's.
Yes.
So, and again, there are things happening all day long in the media. The media wants to get straight to the point. Why are you inviting me here? What am I going to get out of this? What am I going to report? Why is my audience going to find value in this?
Indeed.
So you get that out there quick, maybe 48 hours before the event, and you see if anybody, has any reception to it.
So what we're doing right now, this podcast primarily lives on YouTube.
Sure.
We decided that we needed a through line for economic development because we understood that some people just didn't understand what we do in this place. And also, folks didn't realize like the breadth of talent here. So we felt like, well, why not make our own news?
Yes. You have to tell your own story.
You gotta tell your own story.
Mm-hmm. Owning your own narrative is so critical to your success because no one's going to tell your story better than you do.
Yes.
Nobody knows your brand better than you do. No one knows who you are better than you do. So to have the expectation that a third party or external partner could tell the story about who you are, what you do, why it's important, they're not going to be able to carry it the same way that you do. And they're not going to have the same amount of passion. Not saying that they don't care, but clearly you are the subject matter expert on that. So ensuring that you are in control of that allows for you to really decide how the audience perceives you. And perception is everything, especially if you are a business owner, because everyone knows they go on Google to read the reviews.
That's right.
Right now, I am an avid TikTok watcher, so I will go on TikTok for a review. I want to hear what someone had to say about, a new restaurant, about a brand of hair, about, anything. I want to know what people have to say about it. We want it because it's dynamic content. It's a video. So that's number one. You want to make sure the content's dynamic. Number two, you want to make sure that you're having average people. These aren't people that are paid actors or paid sponsors. These are people just like you and I, the average Joe that went out, purchased this product or attended this event or went to this restaurant, and this was their experience.
Authenticity is key.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Nia, it's not always great and peachy and flowery. There are crises that happen. We all know this. Crisis communications is a thing. It's a part of this. For business owners who already have achieved some media success, but then something happens and everybody, now all those eyeballs you wanted are watching you at your worst too.
Yes.
What can we tell business owners on how to deal with crisis communications and not become adversaries then of the media? Because sometimes that relationship makes them feel like, oh, now you're against me? I thought we was cool. I gave you free food. You came in, you put me on morning news. Now something happened and you're talking crazy about me. So they might think.
It's really kind of a 50-50 play because I can understand like, hey, we're building this rapport professionally, but also a bit personally as well. So to the business owner, we'll just use the food industry since we've been kind of consistently using that. But, there potentially might be times where your business isn't getting the best light. Maybe they found a violation. Or maybe you got your liquor license revoked. Or maybe, they're finding just different things within your restaurant that should not be there. Activities are happening, whatever the case may be. And they're reporting on the truth because they feel like the public has a right to know.
Indeed.
So, I would say I understand your feelings, but you really might have to get out your feelings if you want to overcome this. Now, some people, they just succumb to their emotions and they might just really stay inside of that little rut for a minute. You have to figure out more so be solution oriented. This happened, but I would recommend, if you have a press release that comes out after that to not necessarily combat what the media said, not even necessarily to confirm what the media said, but to tell your own story. Because it's owning your own narrative, kind of how we mentioned in the beginning. If you don't say anything at all, then you're kind of just leaving that ambiguity little opening for everyone to make their own assumptions, to put in their own 2 cents, to fill the gaps with your silence. And I would say to not necessarily avoid getting in that situation, but to prepare. Because, every dog's got their day. So I would prepare for that. I would do crisis drills. Hey, this might happen. Like I would have somebody come in and do it. If I was the owner, I would make sure that I have, maybe a colleague or a team member or someone that my team doesn't know. And I would run my own type of simulation and see what they come back with. Like, and then you kind of mold and you grow from that. You stop it before it happens on the main media platform. But the only way to do that is to practice it out.
Y'all see the juice she's dropping right here? She just gave you so much game. This was consultation. I heard it all. I heard it.
I'm going to send an invoice.
Yeah. Not to us, we're broke. Y'all better take this information.
I hope so.
Because we elevating and Nia's dropping jewels. I hope you caught all of them. Nia, thank you for joining us and providing such valuable insight into media relations and crisis communications. For our business community, the key takeaway is that effective communication begins long before media opportunity or crisis occurs. Building relationships, preparing your message, responding with transparency, and protecting public trust are all essential parts of managing a small business reputation. Thank you again to Nia Brown. Listen, expansion starts here. You see why? We just put you on super game, and we're going to keep doing it early and often. Because why? Expansion starts here.